business has to be involving, it has to be fun, and it has to exercise your creative instincts. Richard Branson, English businessman and investor.
The Rider University College of Business Administration presents the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce Business Hour. Every Sunday morning, 3 of Rider's brightest young business minds apply the knowledge they've acquired in the classroom to formulate strong, thoughtful opinions on local, regional, national, and global hot-button issues, business trends, and more. Sharing them with you, the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce Business Hour is underwritten by the Rider University College of Business Administration, developing the skills needed to turn ideas into realities, and is partially funded by Hopewell Physical Therapy, helping people help themselves to live the healthy life they deserve, and action coach Holly Jerome. Increase sales, grow your business, and change your life. Let's hear what the future business leaders of New Jersey have to say this week on the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce Business Hour presented by the Rider University College of Business.
1077 The Bronc and 1077thebronc.com, live from the Clarendon Public House studio. You are listening to the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce Business Hour. I'm John Ladaro alongside Sarah Schneid.
Yes, we're here today, and we have an awesome guest with us. We have Robert Prunetti, who is the president of the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce.
Oh.
Who is our sponsor. So we are so glad to have him here today.
Well, it's good to be here with you, Sarah, John. It's I know we had an interview a little while ago,
Yes,
but
we
it's good to
did.
be back here in the studio talking to you guys.
Yeah, you
at
were
the Bronc.
actually one of my first interviews, and this is now my second year doing it. So
All right.
hopefully I've improved.
How time flies
see.
by,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
You got that experience, and now I'm worried.
So, Bob, I guess for me, I know Sarah's had the pleasure of already getting to speak with you a little bit in the past. But for myself and other listeners out there, can you give us a little background info about yourself? I guess where you're from, where you attended school, and I guess how you got into the position today of being involved with the chamber and your capacity.
Happy to do that. Well, I was born and raised in the city of Trenton. I lived in this area my entire life, so now I live in Ewing Township.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Trenton Public Schools. I graduated there, went to the College of New Jersey, then Trenton State College, so I'm ancient to you guys. And then from there, I went to New York University, got my master's degree from NYU. So when I was going to NYU, I was also working for Mercer County. I was the budget director there at the county during my time. And I was there until, I guess, way back in the early 1980s. Then I went to work for Governor Tom Kean at the time. Then I did a short stint as the business administrator in Hopewell Township. And I was elected freeholder during that period of time. So I served 2.5 terms on the freeholder board. And then I was elected county executive in 1991. And I served 3 terms there until 2003, I guess it was.
That's great. So as somebody, you have both a political and business background. I know there's a couple topics that me and Sarah would like to get your opinion on.
Sure.
One, starting with recently, our school was going through an issue, I
Right.
guess, with the whole budget cuts and stuff like that, and certain programs that had to be made. You're obviously a man who's always been in a position of having to make difficult decisions in the past, especially working under a budget type of situation.
Right.
I'd love to get your thoughts on how you feel Ryder had handled the situation.
And how you would have handled it.
Yeah.
For what you know, I don't know if you know the current situation.
Well, I do.
They retracted. So essentially we are back where we started. So no majors have been cut, no minors have been cut. The
Right.
teachers have been taken a kind of not a essentially a pay freeze
yeah.
for the next 3 years.
Yeah, well, again, I don't know all the details of the situation and what happened during negotiations, but I will tell you this. I think it was a result of the changing attitude toward a college education, quite frankly. And I think now young people and parents are taking a look at the cost of a college education. I'm sure you guys probably have loans that you have to take out, and you're going to be paying for them. I know my kids are paying for them still today, and I'm still paying some of their tuition today. But so, people are looking at a college education a little differently today than they did in the past. And so now it's not as great a stigma, in my opinion, not to have a college degree if you have another skill.
Okay.
Whether that skill be, in the construction industry or that skill, even computer programmers and technicians and things like that. You don't need a college degree to do very, very well in life
That is
with
true.
those skills. You can gain those skills in a different way. Now, having said that, there's something about a college degree that you can't get from just going to a specialty school, and that's part of the whole socialization, the whole cultural aspect and things like that. And many people continue to want that. But the fact that there's a different sense of a college education today is keeping more and more students from entering a 4-year college right away. Sometimes they take the route of a 2-year college and then on to a 4-year college. Or sometimes they take the route, as I said, of a technical school or something like that. So what it means to Ryder, less students. Right?
Yeah,
and if you have less students, less revenues,
money, less funds.
Right? So you have to deal with the situation that Ryder had to deal with clearly by looking at everything that you're doing and whether or not you can sustain the same level of service, let me call it, that you had in the past. I think from an outsider's view, I'm not a student here, I'm not a teacher here, I'm not an administrator here, but from an outsider's point of view, it seemed to me that the process worked. I mean, initially, and this is, trust me, when you're out and you're in any kind of a business or a governmental agency or a nonprofit agency, the first thing that happens is you look at the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what happened here at Ryder. The worst case scenario is if they couldn't get, any concessions or changes or whatnot.
That this was going to be the plan.
Exactly. That you have to plan for the worst case, right? So then what happens? You get in the room, you negotiate, everybody understands what they have to lose, everybody understands what they have to gain, and then everybody gives a little bit. Hopefully, that's the way the process should work. And it seemed like it worked that way here at Ryder so that they could restore all of those degree programs and other things that were going to be cut, because it seems to me that the teachers, faculty, workers made some concessions to allow that to happen. And so it's not a perfect system. Whenever it's even in legislation, right? I've been dealing in legislation all my life. If you're going to get anything done, not everybody gets everything they want. It's part of the stalemate that we're seeing now in Congress. Everybody wants an absolute. It doesn't work that way. So if you're going to get everything, if you're going to get anything done, it requires some compromise. It requires the fact that everybody's going to suffer a little bit, but hopefully the gain from the total is much better. And I think that's what happened here at Ryder.
It's interesting that you said kind of the changing value of a college education.
Right.
I'm a double major. I'm a finance and accounting major. And
you're doing radio on top of it.
And I'm doing radio.
My goodness.
Yeah. So when I came into school, I'm one of those people that loves math. So I got rid of any possible liberal arts class that I had to take. I was like, I'm going to take calc. I'm going to take pretty much everything I can take instead of taking a liberal arts class.
Right.
So my friends were like, oh, well, this doesn't really affect you because you never really had the opportunity to kind of explore other areas of study. And I said, my idea of college is that I'm going to come out with a job. I mean, I'm going to be an intern at Ernst & Young next summer. I hopefully will have things lined up with that. Like, my goal is to be able to come out of here with a position, not necessarily have, this wide knowledge of possibly like philosophical ideals, and then you go into sociology. For me, I want to be more direct, and I think that is kind of the trajectory that a 4-year education is going in. And I think from a business perspective, as you said, that you kind of have to not necessarily cut the fat, but you have to be able to understand that if there isn't revenue coming in a certain area, that something needs to happen.
Absolutely. You have to deal with that and you have to make adjustments. And I think that's what was happening here at Ryder. But, you said something interesting. I was the same way going through school. I know what I wanted to do. I just wanted all the courses that I needed to take to get me there and to ensure I had the best chance of getting a job when I got out, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yep.
Problem with that is, when I got out and I got that job and moving on, I wish that I took some of those.
I know. That's what everyone says.
Like art appreciation.
I know.
When I was in college, it was like, keep me away from this.
Exactly
I don't want to know
I
anything about. Now, I wish I had taken a course in art appreciation. So you have to balance it, and it's totally understandable. Young people, they want to get going, man.
Yeah.
They want to, they want to get their careers moving. Totally understandable. But you're right. That's part of the balance. It's part of the give and take that you have to take a look at.
So I guess moving into a different topic, kind of wanted to talk about what's going on within, Mercer County and the chamber currently. I know you guys have this great event coming up, so I wanted you to kind of talk about that, promo that for us. And
Okay, well, let me talk to you a little bit about the chamber because we got this partnership with you guys, so you ought to know what we're all about. Our chamber, about 2, maybe 3 years ago now, went through a rebranding. We were the Mercer Regional Chamber of Commerce, so we dealt strictly with Mercer County. Now we are the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce, so now we cover a wider area and we represent a greater breadth in the types of companies that are members and where they're located. So we now cover all of Mercer County and parts of Hunterdon, Middlesex, Monmouth, Ocean, and Burlington County, and we're even in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So we look at it as a market, and we say that we are a market-driven chamber, not a location-based chamber. So most chambers, particularly local chambers, you'll have the, pick any town, and they'll have a chamber of commerce, and they deal strictly with the businesses,
small businesses,
mostly the smaller businesses in those areas. Well, now we represent a greater area. And it's those business who want to expand their markets that are coming to us and becoming members because they see the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce as a door opener for them. So if you're down in Burlington County, and we have members from all over the state, but that area that I described to you, that's where we do our programming. We limit it to that because we just don't have the ability to go all over state. But we do have members from all over the state and Pennsylvania that join us because they want to enter this market. So what we try to do is really define the market, this MIDJersey market. So if you're a company that's down in, way down in Burlington County or up in Middlesex or Hunterdon somewhere, and you're saying, I want to do more business, either going a little bit south or going a little bit north, I want to expand my market, the chamber, our chamber, MIDJersey, is a perfect opportunity for those people because then they begin to develop the relationships, they begin to understand the other businesses and what their needs are, and they can do that through the Chamber of Commerce. So that's who we are now, and that's what we've been doing for the past several years. And now our membership base, the demographic of our membership base is changing a little bit, mostly with regard to geography. The types of companies that we represent, the mix is pretty much the same. We have a large contingent of financial agencies that are members.
I was going to say my
largest.
dad is a member of the chamber.
Financials, yeah.
A lot of financials, banks, accountants, you name it, the financial industry is big. Then we have a large contingent of healthcare. So we have major healthcare
New Jersey's the
facilities
pharma
there.
capital.
Right.
Yeah, we were
Well,
having a
here's
discussion
the
about
interesting
that,
thing. Most of our members that are in healthcare, most of them are hospital-based, therapy-based. Now, all these emerging urgent care
Yes.
centers,
Yeah.
they're
Yes.
all
Clinics,
members of
that
ours.
type
All
of
the
stuff, yeah.
the pharmaceuticals. It's a funny thing. We got some of the big ones: J&J, Janssen Pharmaceutical, Bristol Myers.
Yep.
We got some of the big ones, but some of the smaller ones, it's pretty amazing. Their culture is to be very kind of closed. I guess maybe they think they're guarding secrets or something. I don't
never
know.
know.
But they are the toughest to get to be part of chambers of commerce, So we're working on that. But it's very diverse. And then education. We have a large contingent of members that are education-based one way or another. That's the main group. But then we have, all sorts of insurance companies, mom and pops, retail companies, and we try to service each one of those the best that we can. And they all come to the chamber for different reasons. And part of the trick is to find out, who falls into what category.
So here's my question here. As a student, obviously the chamber is all about networking between businesses, large businesses, small businesses, as you said, and it's not the region anymore. It's become more of a market. If you want to kind of penetrate the market within the MIDJersey Chamber, then you come to this. I know a lot of students that are looking for positions. Would you suggest that they come and they attend a meeting and try to network with business owners? So what is exactly the process with that?
Well, that's pretty easy. It might, we would always consider student pricing. I mean, that's not part of what we do at our events. But if we had enough students that were in, let's say, Ryder, we can do some kind of deal with Ryder. If we knew enough students were interested to have some sort of student pricing for our events. All right. So we'd be happy to do that. But I tell you, there are two things. One is we have a young professionals group.
Okay.
And I am sure that they would entertain students in a number of their events. It'd be great to be involved with them. That's number one. The other thing you can do is, if there was enough interest on campus, you can organize a collegiate chapter of our chamber. Our chamber is built upon chapters, okay? So we do that to make sure that we're paying attention to some of the local needs, right? So I mentioned all these counties.
Yes.
But Hamilton Township has a chapter. City of Trenton has a chapter.
Okay.
Hopewell Valley has a chapter.
So
And
there's
they
like
all make up-
subsidiaries within
exactly,
the
and they
chamber.
do some of their own events, and they do some of their own thing, and we support them. But we make the main reason for me is I get feedback from my chapters. So if there are issues or there are concerns or whatever in a certain area, we make sure that we try to attend to those. So, for example, if there was interest on the Rider campus, you can organize a Rider student chapter of the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce. Doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
You just kind of come together and you hold different discussions, meetings. I would come and talk. We'd get other business people come and talk.
I think that's a
to your
fabulous
meetings.
idea.
That is,
And we would love to have that. That would be fantastic.
I want to explore that a little bit more. We got to take a quick break real fast, but we were going to be right back over here with Bob Prunetti from the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce right here on 107.7 The Bronc and 107.7thebronc.com.
A person should never neglect family for business. Walt Disney, American film producer.
Welcome back to the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce Business Hour, presented by the Rider University College of Business Administration, exclusively on 107.7 The Bronc.
107.7 The Bronc, 107.7thebronc.com, live from the Killarney's Public House Studios. You're listening to the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce Business Hour. Well, we are actually just continuing an interview that we started with Bob Prunetti, who is the president of the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce. And during this kind of like intercession that we had, we were kind of talking about this whole idea of why students aren't as interested in kind of having their own chapter and promoting the chamber to come and network with us. So I guess if we wanted to continue that conversation.
Well, I think it's a fabulous idea. We love it because what it does for us is it introduces people at a very young age to chambers of commerce, and then hopefully they'll stick with us. And whatever they do, whatever business they go to, if that business is not already a member, hopefully they can help get them to be a member. But we talked about a couple of things. I mentioned we have a young professionals organization. That would be a terrific place for students to be involved with some of their activities because, well, they're young, they're starting out their careers, and I think there could be a lot to gain from students who interact with them. But also, we talked about the opportunity maybe to have a chapter here at Rider, a student chapter of our Chamber of Commerce, and to have different events on your own, and we can help with speakers and things like that, So if there were that interest, I mean, we absolutely would be happy to have a chapter.
How would you suggest that we start that process? Because this is interesting to me.
Okay.
I would like to be
I think
part of that.
You got to go to your business school, right, and have some support from the department itself, right. And then just, maybe in each class, have a survey, and ask students, would they be interested, and talk a little bit about what, you would do as a chapter. And that could be, from speakers to doing your own types of networking events, to doing networking events with us. I mean, it could be a whole list of things, and I'd be happy to help you with that. I would take a little survey to see what kind of interest there would be. And if there's enough interest, then I would, organize those people. And, you got to have some kind of a format. So, you pick a chair and a co-chair or whatever, and some kind of an idea of what your programming would be like. You don't have to meet all the time. If you met once a month, that'd be plenty. And then we would do some joint programming and stuff like that. We would make you an official chapter of the chamber.
I think that's fabulous.
I do too. I really I think it because as I was somebody who I went to high school, graduated. I'm 28 right now, so I had I went the community college route. I went there. I got 2 associate degrees, and then I went back, came over here to Rider then to get my bachelor's degree. But from my perspective of looking down, I guess on students who are 5, 6 years, 7 years younger than I am. I don't think they understand opportunity as much and the value of something small like that, where you can attend a club that's once a month, but the impact that it can make on your future down the line.
Absolutely.
I mean, you go to a company coming out of school and you have something like that put on your resume, especially saying that you were one of the founding members of that chapter. I mean, you want to talk about showing initiative to a potential employer of yours. I mean, I think it's an absolutely great idea.
Yeah. And the opportunity to make relationships while you're a student, so that when you graduate, you already met a lot of the people that are hiring, in the region. And so you're developing
this regional school like TCNJ,
Absolutely
Ryder.
right.
And
Absolutely right.
I mean, most people who go to school around here are planning on working in the New York metro area.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So whether you're working in Philly, whether you're working in New Jersey, whether you're working in New York, you plan to stay possibly in the tri-state area. So having these relationships is so imperative to career success.
And on top of it, people always talk about, the values that, sometimes you can't get from school that you get from the real world. What better way to get that than to learn from some of the best, best in business right around your local area on top of it.
If I had anything to do with particularly a business, but not just a business curriculum in a college, I would make networking
a class.
Of course.
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
It is so important. When I graduated, I had no idea. The only thing that saved me was an internship. That's when I really began to learn how to apply what I'm learning in college to the real world. And if I didn't have that internship, I think I would have been lost. Honestly, I think I would have been absolutely lost. So internships, things like we're talking about, getting involved with a Chamber of Commerce or anything I think is critical. I really believe it ought to be part of the curriculum.
So guys, for those of you listening, keep on the lookout, because I am definitely going to do some digging into this and see what I can come up with. Hopefully you guys have some interest in this. But going along with the whole student ideas and coming up with innovative ideas, let's kind of talk about this Shark Tank event that you're going to have.
Right. That's going to be on December 9th at the Sunbank Arena in Trenton. We're going to have Damon John. So if anybody follows Shark Tank, obviously he's a very, very popular figure on that program. So he's going to do a show. Now, originally, I'm just a little disappointed. Originally, what we wanted to do is to have our colleges, particularly, but anybody, enter sort of a competition where Damon John at that night would select one of 3 finalists, project. We didn't have enough time to market that. And so, unfortunately, we didn't have enough applicants. So the next time around, we definitely want to do that, which would have made it even more interesting. But he has a fabulous show. He sells out on college campuses all over the country. So what we're trying to do is we've already contacted all the college campuses. We hope that the marketing people here will put it out there. There's special student pricing for the show, so you get discounts if you're a student. And you come that night, and he puts on what I'm told. I have not seen his live show, but he puts on an excellent show. Kind of talks about where he came from, how he did what he did, and he's very motivational, and he gives great examples, and he takes some Q&A and things like that. So, people are very, very interested in this. So it's going to be a great show. It's, as I said, December 9th. I think it's a Wednesday night.
Yes, it is.
A few weeks from now. Sunbank Arena. And, come out, and all you got to do is go on the website. You can go on the MIDJersey Chamber website. You can go on the Sunbank Arena website and look for tickets and look for the student rates. And so if you don't see it at all, just call our offices. We'll help you, or call the Sunbank Arena. But there's student pricing.
We are actually also giving away tickets.
Yes.
So for those of you who would be interested in this event, through our Facebook, we're going to be giving out tickets, and we're going to give you a little bit more information on how that's going to work. I have tickets. Hopefully my dad will come with me.
I'll be attending as well. With the event, we talked about, the student program and stuff. It sounds like you have several ideas. I mean, you guys also for the chamber have, we have this radio show. You guys have a magazine that's out there. Are you going to continue do you see in the future doing more events like this? Are there other ideas that you have on ways that you would like to expand, I guess, the chamber itself to the public, to its members, new things that, to get more businesses involved and give them more incentive to join the chamber as well?
I'm glad you asked that question, because my firm belief is businesses need to be part of their community. So what we're trying to do as a chamber is to have events like this. I mean, you don't have to be a chamber member to go see Damon John, right? It's all about the entrepreneurial spirit and all that sort of thing. So it's great. It's a good motivational thing. It's a good thing for the community as well. But in addition to that, we want to do more events, and we want to take a closer look at how we can be part of the community. We took a survey when we did the rebranding, and what we found that a majority of members think that they are providing some community benefit by being a member of the chamber. And that's true, because we don't only do business events, we do community events as well. We get involved in different nonprofits and charities and things like that. So if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of time and is on a budget or by joining the chamber, you are giving back to your community, because your membership, whatever you do with us, helps us to provide programming in the community. So we certainly want to do that. We want people to know who we are and what we do, whether you're a business owner or not, because we think that by doing that, we can involve the community, which creates a better environment for business. And that's
Absolutely.
the way we look at it long term. We're involved you mentioned networking, obviously. It's a big part of what we do in relationship building and that sort of thing. But the two other key things that we do are advocacy for businesses. That means advocacy on sort of the policy level. I go to the State House. I testify on bills and things like that. And we support bills that are good for business and oppose ones that aren't. But we also do individual advocacy. So if you're a business, you've got a problem with a state agency, you don't know where to turn, you don't have the money to hire lawyers and lobbyists and all that sort of, you come to us. We help you do that. We help you find the right agency, the right person, try to set up meetings for you. We don't always have the answer you want to hear, but we help you do that, whether it's state, local, county, whatever. And the other part that we do is economic development. So we get involved in economic development projects. We provide assistance. We provide information. We provide support. So our chamber looks at what we do in a very broad fashion. And the ultimate goal is to create a better environment for you to do business so that your business can grow. So, yes, all of those kinds of things, and particularly young people. I mean, I love working with young people. So I'm really excited about the fact that whenever I can get young people excited about what we're doing and wanting to take an interest, then whatever we got to do in terms of programming, I'm very open to. And I just love to do it because they're future members. They're future
absolutely.
business people. So that's the way we look at it.
I also know I was doing a little background, I guess, research about you. I know that you're heavily involved in a lot of stuff that goes on, I guess, in Trenton and trying to, I don't want to, I guess the best thing, I mean, not like rebranding it, but trying to build Trenton back up. What certain personal things would you like to see happen, I guess, within the short or the, the short future or the distant future, steps that we could take to building, Trenton back up to, what it should be around here and take away some of the, I guess, the bad
stigma.
Exactly. The negative stigma.
And it does.
Exactly.
I mean, look, we have to realize reality if we're ever going to change it, right? So Trenton does have a stigma in terms of crime and things like that. So that's got to be changed. The number one thing, and I'm very encouraged by the relatively new mayor, Jackson, in Trenton. He has the right idea. He's got a good focus. He's credible, he's honest, and he really wants to see Trenton become what it should be. Trenton is the capital city.
It is.
We have in Trenton some things that no other cities have. One is it is the capital. There's only 50 of those. Another is it's on a waterfront, and I don't know how many capitals are on the waterfront, but it's not 50. And finally, we have tremendous history that almost no other city has in our revolution.
We do.
It really does.
We really
So
do.
if you take those three things together, we are so unique, and we ought to be able to capitalize on that. So what I would like to see, first of all, you got to work on crime, and that's being done. If you look at the statistics over the last several years, crime rates are down pretty dramatically in Trenton. Now, we have to change the perception. The reality is that they're down. We have to change perception. That we have to work on. Second thing I think we need to do is we have to redevelop the area around the state capitol. We got to make that a hustle and bustling kind of place so that people will want to come, work, stay, and live in that area. And then finally, not finally, but the third thing in immediate future is we ought to be redeveloping the waterfront. With any city that has success, their waterfronts are a
Pretty
place where
much
people want to
where
go. It's a
everyone
destination
goes.
place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There are some beautiful attributes in Trenton that people don't even.
You also got the
know
ballpark
of.
there on top of it.
The ballpark is there. You have the
Sun Arena.
Row, I guess, is there now. The Sun Arena is not very far away, and not many people have visited the park on top of the tunnel. I don't know if you guys have.
I
been.
have.
I
I have.
It is
been to- I didn't even
absolutely
know that was there.
fantastic.
It
And
is.
Really?
What I plan on doing as a chamber, we're going to have some events there.
Okay.
In a not too distant future, people need to be exposed to that because it is absolutely fantastic park. It demonstrates our history, but I mean the views. It's
views
just
are
a
great.
wonderful, wonderful place. So we have some things that people aren't aware of, and we need to make them aware of it. So we need to bring people to Trenton. Look, they come to the arena, they come to the baseball stadium for sure. And if we start getting them used to that, I think we can do some things in Trenton.
Well, Bob, honestly, we can't thank you enough for
Yeah, we
My
really
pleasure.
can.
It's
Thank
been
you so
fun. I've
much.
enjoyed it. It's been
Yes.
fun. Invite me back again. I'll come back.
Oh,
We will. Don't worry.
That's Bob Prunetti from the MIDJersey Chamber of Commerce. Once again, a reminder that there will be the Evening with Damon John. That will be Wednesday, December 9th at 7 p.m. We will be having ticket giveaways, as
Yes,
Sarah
so stay
said,
tuned.
on our Facebook page. We'll mention it on our show as well. Bob, thank you so much.
My
Thank you
pleasure,
again.
guys. Thank you.
We'll be back here on 107.7 The Bronc and 107.7thebronc.com.